Hey friends, how y'all doing? I was about to go to bed and then I decided that, oh, what the hell, let me make a video. And I'll start off by saying thanks a lot for just all of the love. It's just, say it again and again. Thanks very much, friends. Really good to be here. If I look odd with two shirts on, it's because it's again another cool night here in Omaha. It's supposed to be warming up tomorrow, but it ain't there yet, so I'm anyway, what I thought I'd do is just to grab a bunch of records and just because I start to think about doing something and then I just get lost, in thought. And indeed, I'll follow through with making a genre video again sometime soon, but I just get bogged down thinking about trying to find things. So I just grabbed some stuff, and this is basically some C's, and we'll start. And some of these I haven't listened to in a while, but we'll start with this John Cage album. And the first thing that I can tell you is that it's a re-release on the Get Back label, where they've gone and taken some records on the Italian Cramps label and made them available again. This is Nova Musica number one, and I haven't listened to it for a while, so I can't tell you anything about the pieces on this record. Here's something I bought called the Cage Record Project. Consonant Vowel. I remember buying this very, very cheaply. It looked interesting. It's a compilation here. If I can mention anyone that rings a bell right off the top of my... Actually, no. And so this is something that I took a chance on. I don't remember what it's like. I know it's something slightly avant-garde. Next thing we have here is this is a new electronic music for leaders of the avant-garde. From Leaders of the Avant-Garde, and it's got pieces by John Cage, Henry Pousser, and Milton Babbitt. I have listened to this. It's in kind of slightly beat, but this is pretty interesting. Here we have another John Cage album, John Cage and LeJaron Hiller, harpsichord, with the Ben Johnston String Quartet number 2 on here. I remember this piece, harpsichord. It's pretty jarring, but also draws you in. It's kind of hypnotic on the None Such label. Oh, you haven't listened to this in a while. Francois Faton Cahen, pianist who played in the band Magma, as well as doing things on his own. This is a sweet solo piano album. Yeah, I haven't listened to this in a while. I like this one. I have another one of his albums, Great Winds. Francois Cahen. And what am I listening to? Instead of putting a backing track in, I'm listening to some music right now, and I'm listening to this album called Pinhole by Rollo. It's in Japanese, and all I can tell you is that I bought it at the Boris concert. So there's some relation to Boris. Dan from Canada, if you happen to see this, or anyone else that knows about this record, there it is, Rollo, Pinhole. I'd love to know more about it. It's I don't even know what members of Boris, or if members of Boris are on it. I can only assume, since it was at the merch table, that it's directly related to them. This is a New Zealand band, The Cake Kitchen. I believe this is on Flying Nun. I haven't played this in a while, but I remember this being kind of a slightly scratchy guitar sounding thing. I like the cover, The Cake Kitchen. Here's something I found in Chicago, Caldera, Stabat Mater, or maybe I was Lincoln. It's an early electronic thing, kind of based on a mask here. Who is this by? Robert Margoliff, yeah, produces it. So it's, yeah, Malcolm Cecil, and Tonto's Expanding Headband is basically who this is. It's early electronic music. Pretty cool album here. John Cale. I almost said Cage, didn't I? I'm a little tired. Vintage Violence. This has actually a couple songs I really like, as well as just really liking this cover. That's a really memorable record cover. Only other John Cale I have is Animal Justice. Saw him live many years ago, back in the early '80s, and it was wild. He was pretty junked out. I saw him 2 nights in a row. The first night he was so junked out and drunk that he basically started a fight with the bass player to end the concert early because he was just too out of it. And then the next night they were just amazing. Calexico, this is a single I have by them. Descamino. It's a neat band. Calexico. Hadley Calaman, jazz saxophonist. I always want to try to remember, how did it first come? He was playing with someone else, which is where I first heard of him, but it just doesn't come to mind right away. I'm looking if there's any other names on here. Bill Douglas on bass. This guy's good though, Hadley Calaman. Not the prettiest face, but the man can play. Mira Calix is an electronic artist that I really like. One on One. And this is on the Warp label, a great label. I'd like to find some more of her stuff on vinyl. I've got some more things on CD. This is very original. Very original. When it comes to Sunshine Pop, I was watching Stefan 73's recent post of his collection. Here's one that would fit right in there. The Cambridge Concept of Timothy Clover, a Harvard Square Affair. Kind of a slight concept album. I think the guy that's behind this, his name is, it's not Timothy Clover, but this is real good. It's on the Tower label, and this is just really good. Beantown sound, Boston sound. And then now we're getting into my Camel albums. Here's Mirage. Goes without saying, I love Camel. Don't have all their albums, but starting with that one, I have that. And then this one I highly recommend if you don't have it yet. The Snow Goose. This is another concept album. This is beautiful. This is a beautiful album. Camel, the Snow Goose. Here they have a live record, double album. This is really good. And this, again, pardon the glare, which is why I usually take records out of the sleeves, but I just grabbed stuff so I could show it to you. Camel, live album. Here's one that I think is underrated. It's pretty accessible, but it's still really beautifully prog also. Breathless, Camel. And I think that's really maybe why Camel didn't get more critical acclaim at the time, is because they have this softer sound that was, in many ways, pretty commercial while being, I think, slightly adventurous, but also very tuneful. I think that's what I love about Camel, is the tunefulness of their music. It's lyrical and beautiful. I love this album, Breathless. Because we've been hearing folks talk about this good old Moon Madness. Now, this is the second album I heard, and the second record I bought by Camel. When it came out, I got Mirage first. I was living in Texas at the time, Port Aransas, Texas, to be exact, right outside of Corpus Christi. And then I got Moon Madness. Just love this album. Lunacy. This is just so good. You Can See Your House From Here, another great Camel album. This is the one where Kit Watkins from Happy the Man has joined the band. And this is just a wonderful, wonderful, wunderbar album. You should hear this. This is some good-ass music. Good-ass music. Another great Camel album, Rain Dances, with a guest appearance by good old Brian Eno. And makes good on the appearance. You know what I'm saying? He actually adds something to this record. I mean, because this band is just really consistently good, and this is a great album. Richard Sinclair, originally of the band Caravan, had joined the band at this time. So he's the bass player in this album as well as the singer, and this is just a gorgeous album. Highly recommend this record. Rain Dances. I'd showed this before, and this is the softer side of Camel, and maybe it doesn't appeal to all. Not as maybe it won't appeal as much as the harder rocking albums, but this is one of my personal favorite Camel albums. It's a concept album called Nude. Can't tell you what the concept is exactly about, but the thematically throughout the album, the music it's a flow. It's like a big long piece. I think this is the last Camel album I have is Single Factor, and I haven't listened to this in a while, and every time I put it on, it's like it just didn't grab me. It's kind of like, how maybe I would describe it as the record that, well, we had the contract, we needed to make another record, and this is it. Let's see here, what else have I got here? Oh, Jimmy Campbell. Some pop on the Vertigo label. Really iconic cover here. Half Baked. Vertigo is a label I'd love to say I collect. I do collect, but it's so hard so expensive. The stuff is so expensive. John Campbell, this is some good jazz. Turning Point with Clark Terry. Fabulous. I haven't played this in a long time, actually. Now that I'm looking at this, it's like I need to play this. I'm just going to grab just a few more here because it gets into my can. And I'll stop. So, I love Can, and here we have their first album, Monster Movie. You Do Right. Can Delay. This came out later, but it's an early recording, and so that's why it's in my stack early on. Can Delay, 1968, with Malcolm Mooney still on vocals. Then we have Soundtracks. There is a cooler cover for this. I've had this forever, so I don't know if this is the first edition of it or. Actually, no, I don't think it is. No, this is a reissue. This is on celluloid. Great album. The Mighty Toggle Moggle. Not enough can be said about how great and groundbreaking, in my opinion, this album is. And I think it's more than my opinion. This album really kicked the doors open for a lot of hypno rock. And just it's an album you gotta hear. Iggy Bamyazi. This is actually what I first heard by Can when I was 17. These friends of mine I met in high school who had lived in Europe, and Air Force brats. I met them in Omaha. They turned me onto this, and when my first initial reaction to it was like, "What the fuck is this?" Wasn't ready for it, but it didn't take long. I did love the cover right away, but I'll tell you what, and the back cover too, the band, it's like, it was a bit much for me, but it's like I knew I had to get into it, and sure enough, it didn't take too long. Future Days, classic. People have been asked in the thread in different ways, what is a record you think people need to hear? Here's one. Of course, I think quite a bit of what I have people ought to hear, but this is definitely one. Future Days, this is a masterpiece. Limited edition. This is so cool. And this is an original copy. I've had this since it came out. When it was first released. This is not a reissue. This is original. Some really good shit on there. Soon Over Babaluma. Again, I still think this is a great Can album in my opinion. Damo Suzuki is gone on this one, so Michael Caroli does a lot of the singing, as well as Ermin Schmidt. Como Esta La Luna, and then the B-side when they get into Quantum Physics. This is a badass album. I love Can. Anthony, Fartboy 1979, just got a copy of this. Flow Motion. This actually is not bad. right, Anthony? Have you listened to this yet? You know, this is not considered classic Can, but this is some damn good Can. The next album is pretty weak. There's like one, in my opinion, one really excellent track on here. I forget the name of it right quick. But Saw Delight. There's another Can album. I say buy it without a doubt. Get this. If you see it, get it. Just a few more. Unlimited edition. So this is the limited edition reissued with another album. This is a double album of further tracks, quite a bit from their ethnological forgery series that they had started, where they're doing these fake world music recordings. Pretty cool. Out of Reach. This is my personally my least favorite Ken album. But you know, I need to listen to it again. It's been a while. And then the reunion album, which I really like, with Malcolm Mooney back in the fold. What's the name of this one? Right Time. I think this is really good. Especially the first track, On the Beautiful Side of a Romance. That's what it sounds like. It's a great title and it fits the song. This is a good album. This is Can. Right Time. And then I got this, I think it's a boot, but Radio Waves. It's got some singles and some other tracks on here. I think a radio session. Very, very good press. Good sound quality. Doesn't sound like a boot. It sounds like an actual release. I'm going to stop there because I'm up to 17 minutes and I'm just thinking, man, that's a long time to ask people to be watching your ass. You know what I'm saying? Again, I want to thank you folks for being my friends and my subscribers. I really appreciate the comments. I feel it. I feel you all. And, man, I just think it's Sujet33 is the way is his name, but he comments about how he likes how it appears that I'm just speaking off the top of my head. Well, I am, you know. I'm just sitting here talking to you all, just like I would be talking to you if you were here in the room, which is what is so cool about this. I just love this, you know, basing it on the music. Now, to be honest with you, I could talk about quite a few different things, you know. We all have opinions, but I do like thought, and I have a lot of concerns and cares about the world and current events and past events, and I could talk about a lot of stuff, but I better shut up and upload this video so y'all can watch, and I'll see you again soon.